So, what is the meaning of anti-Semitism? Okay. And for the definition of anti-Semitism, we have to go back to the Talmud. And we must understand that the word Jew is a modern racial construction that does not exist in the Bible. We will not find it in the Quran. We will not find it in the Bible. There is no J in Hebrew. And there is no term known to Shemitic people as Jew or Jewish. This is a modern racial construction. So, to understand what anti Semitism is, we must go back to Shem, who is the ancestor of the Semitic people. And then we must go to the Talmud. Pirkei the Rabbi 24 actually describes the physical characteristics of the people of Shem and also the people of Ham. We're focusing here on the people of Shem because this is where the term Semitic is derived. And so when we look in Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer 24, he especially blessed Shem and his sons, making them dark but comely. Now, when we go and look at the definition of this word that they mistranslated as dark, we will see that it doesn't mean dark at all, but it actually means black. So when we talk about the definition of anti-Semitism, technically the definition anti-Semitism in truth is the hostility to or prejudice against Black Semitic people. So our good old-fashioned traditional hatred of blacks, racism toward blacks, that is the true definition of anti-Semitism. It has nothing to do with the modern state of Israel. And it has nothing to do with the people today who descend from Ashkenaz. As we will also find in the Talmud that Japhet was made entirely white. This is according to the Talmud. Okay? And it also says that he gave to the people of Japhet as their inheritance the desert and its fields. So once again, we see that the people of Japhet are not the original possessors of the land of Israel. And it was never given to them as a nichala. Okay? I am a Semitic person, and this is why I feel the necessity to bring clarity to this issue. So today, there is an entire fraud going on in the name of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is hatred and prejudice towards Black people. That's what true anti-Semitism is, according to the Talmud. And the people who are fighting and killing and destroying, claiming the land of Israel, actually belong to the descendants of Japhet. When we look at the Quran, we see this clearly, okay? And so clearly we see that the Quran teaches us that among Allah's signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth and the variations in your languages and your colors. Verily, in that are signs for those who know. He didn't say that in this are reasons to be racist, but he said in this are signs. What is a sign? It is an evidence or a proof. Okay? This is very, very important. We know that through language, we can a lot of times determine ethnicity. And even if we're not able to determine ethnicity through linguistics, we can still do a general grouping through phenotype. Okay? Because once again, that is something else that people of the same ethnic group many times share. Now, there's always exceptions to the rule because there is amalgamation that has taken place and that does take place. But in general, we have to pay attention to our languages and our colors. In general, we find in the signs of the Talmud that the Shemitic descendants and the Hamitic descendants were black people, and the descendants of Japhet were white people. And he says that he made all of them, Kolem Lebani. Okay? We see that the word Laban that we find in the Talmud in Hebrew, Laban means white, and Shakur means black. So the true definition of anti-Semitism has nothing to do with the modern state of Israel, but anti-Semitism has to do with racism or prejudice or hate towards black people. Okay? As we understand that the descendants of Shem today are called Semitic people. And we must also mark it here that Semitic people are not just Hebrew people or Israelite people. There are other tribes of Semitic people. So it's not just one group. But this particular group, as we find in the Talmud, Semitic people who descend from Shem are black people. We also understand from this excerpt from the Talmud that the descendants of Japhet were not given Jerusalem or Israel or Africa or any other of these places that we find them fighting and warring. They were not given this as a nihala, as a inheritance. But they were indeed given the what? The deserts with its fields. So once again, we have to be careful how we use this term anti-Semitic and understand that the definition that is written about anti-Semitism is incorrect because there is more than just one group of Semitic people, and particularly the group who is calling themselves Semitic are Japhetic. They do not come from Shem, but their ancestor is Japhet, according to Scripture. And so, because Yahweh created us all, we should not hate one another because of the color of our skin. Racism should never play a part in the reality of our social construct.